Sigma gets buffed on the PTR, Moira gets nerfed, and Overwatch has made $1 billion off loot box sales since launch. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. I am Stylosa, and this is a wonderful Overwatch news update video. Now, if you guys like the videos that I make on the channel, then do subscribe. And remember, if you click the bell, you will get alerted to when videos go live. Okay, so first thing we've got is Sigma's Kinetic Grasp. The cooldown has been reduced from 15 to 13 seconds. Shield per damage conversion has been increased. Now, let's just discuss this for a second, because this ability is actually, it's a really powerful ability. Now, very famously on the developer, well, not the developer update, I guess, but the developer stream that Jeff did with Seagull, Jeff seemed to be quite confused as to the power level of this ability. He actually said that, oh no, this ability doesn't eat ultimates, it just removes their damage component. But actually, it does eat ultimates, and this has been confirmed to actually be the proper state of the ability. And of course, through us playing on PTR, well, we know this thing eats ultimates. I actually made a video with my wonderful friend Josh, and we looked at all of the things that you could eat, and it turns out you can eat a hell of a lot with Kinetic Grasp. So you can see me using it right there. Kinetic Grasp absorbs projectiles, and it absorbs and eats ultimates. This is mega strong. It means you can eat Graviton Surge, you can like eat most of Whole Hog, you can eat almost all of Reaper's ultimate. The list just goes on. It is super effective. Now, the one component that they've buffed here, because it's still obviously going to be really powerful eating ultimates and stuff, is they've allowed it to generate more shield. So you use this as sort of like a backup for your barrier. So what I've been tending to do with Sigma is I will push forward through my barrier sometimes, because it might make sense to leave my barrier in a certain position. But while I'm pushing forward, maybe I attack, maybe I go for the rock. But what I would do is bring up Kinetic Grasp to absorb damage to give myself shield. I'm not thinking of eating ultimates as such. I'm like using it as another defensive ability to push my team forward and to push myself forward and to keep myself alive. So it was kind of not great at that, because it didn't really give you many shields, but now it gives you more. So that's good and it's fine. Thing is though, it's still an ability that eats ultimates, and it's still really good, right? Even without this buff, it would still be really good, just because of that component of consuming ultimates and preventing damage coming towards your team. Now, the inevitable comparison is made between this and Defense Matrix. This is sort of like a point-blank Defense Matrix. That's the way to look at it. It's a much better designed ultimate eating ability, I want to say, than Defense Matrix, because Defense Matrix is very oppressive. It's very large. Even though it's been nerfed, it's still super powerful. Thing is, though, did Sigma need this buff? And why have they buffed Sigma so fast? I mean, he's only been on the PTR for 2 days, or maybe 3 days. I think the thing here we've got is they've released a hero in possibly an undertuned state. Now, the big question here is that the right thing to do? Should they release heroes super OP so everyone is like, oh my god, look at this hero, it's insane, let's all go and play the hero? Or should they release them in a balanced way, or an underpowered way, then start tuning them? Honestly, I believe they should release them in an underpowered way and then start tuning them up, because if you've got a super OP hero and then it somehow makes it to live, well, that hero is just going to destroy the game. And also as well, it's nice to see them using the PTR to make changes this fast to heroes. And talking about changes, this is the big one we need to talk about. This is the Moira change. Now, what they've done is reverted the buff. Now, they buffed Moira to allow Fade to escape stuns, which basically meant you could escape everything, literally everything. I believe mistakenly in my previous video, I was like, oh, and it also allows you to remove status effects like anti-heal and all of that, but it already let you do that anyway on live. I kind of got a bit confused. I got carried away in the Moira madness. But yeah, this is a great example of Blizzard using the PTR, listening to community feedback, and making a positive change. I don't know really why they buffed Moira. The explanation given was Moira doesn't have much utility, so let's give her some more utility by allowing her to literally never, ever, ever get caught in any kind of crowd control. Like, the crazy thing you could do is if you got hit with Earth Shatter, you could just press shift and get out of Earth Shatter. It was really quite ridiculous. I believe what they were trying to do is allow Moira to assist her team if everyone's hit with a global stun or a big AoE stun, something which is going to incapacitate your entire team. Moira's still got something she can do. Now, the big problem with Moira, and I honestly believe Mercy suffers with this, specifically with Guardian Angel, where it's just doesn't feel very impactful, which is kind of sad. But Moira just does Moira things, and does she feel super impactful? I don't know, but Moira is really, really good. A lot of people refer to Moira as the Reaper of the lower levels, and by that what I mean is they're very strong heroes. So if you play Reaper, you should be able to literally one-trick a Reaper all the way up to Diamond, no worries, because teams won't be able to counter you when you're just running up to them and destroying them. And Moira's kind of the same. She's this support which is very hard to kill, even without the insane buff she had on the PTR. But you got a lot of value from Moira, and I think the issue Blizzard have got is if you want to give Moira, let's say, more utility, the problem there is you can make Moira really, really strong, because Moira's thing is she puts out a lot of healing, she puts out a lot of damage really for a support. She's very good at lower levels because she can just like act as a DPS and a support, which is super strong. But when you start going up through the ranks, you start getting people becoming a bit like, oh, we don't want the Moira on our team, maybe we want an Ana, maybe we want a Baptiste or something else. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, you've got to kind of be flexible, but Moira's issue is she does a lot, and I think if Blizzard even make small changes to Moira, it could make her super powerful. A couple of things I've seen thrown around are stuff like maybe if Coalescence can't be interrupted, but really would that make much difference to Moira? I don't know. Like, yes, Moira can get flashbanged, yes, she can get hooked or whatever while she's got Coalescence running to sort of disable the ability, but I don't know whether that would add that much to it. There's things like, what about if Moira has a Zen-like damage debuff on her damage orb? So instead of throwing it out and it doing damage, you throw it out and it maybe debuffs the enemy, or maybe it's got some sort of anti-heal component. The problem is, I think that just means you're still playing Moira the same way, and Moira is still very effective. Moira could be a hero in the future we actually get reworked. Now, I think Moira is kind of in an okay position for 2-2-2, because we have to remember, the devs are balancing for a 2-2-2 role lock world now, not what we're playing on live. And I think Moira is still going to be really good there because she provides massive healing, close range. She's difficult at range because obviously, and certain maps like Numbani are always going to be difficult for Moira to get value. But I don't know, Moira is a difficult one, but I'm really glad the devs have listened to feedback and have made the change, well, have reverted the change. I think that's good. Okay, let's move on to a little bit of Overwatch League news. This one is really interesting. So this is from Spark, and what they've done here is they've released a statement saying they actually gave leave to one of their players called Crystal, but he didn't come back. So what they've done is they've gravely warned him, and they fined him 3 times for his salary of his absent days without permission. Okay, so this is interesting, right? Now, this is good, and this is both kind of worrying. Now, the English in this is slightly strange. It's because it's from a Chinese team, Chinese social media teams and all of that. But basically what's happened is they gave Crystal leave, and he just decided to, well, extend his own leave. Now, it was for a family sickness, so that's fair enough. You know, if your parents were ill and you were living in a completely different country, you'd ask your employers to say, hey guys, can I go home? They say, yeah, cool. And that's what Spark have done. But it looks like instead of coming back to work, back to the team, Crystal's just gone, no, I'm just going to stay here. So what they've done, instead of throwing him out of the team or anything like that just yet, is they've given him a serious warning. They've fined him quite a lot, I'd imagine, for this. Okay, so this is good because we like transparency from Overwatch League teams. We want to know what the teams are doing. Like, I hate it when you just get a news update out of nowhere and you've got no idea what's happening. On the other hand, and I'm sure a lot of you guys out there are probably like, wow, this is super strict. I mean, the guy, he's gone home for a family illness. It's a bit, you know, maybe they could be a little bit more considerate. I don't know. We don't know the full situation, but it's still good that Overwatch League teams are open. Okay, let's get on to this. So this is from Superdata. Now, Superdata is a company which collects industry statistics on how many games are sold, how many people are playing games, how much money games are playing, and all of that stuff. And this is what they say. Overwatch surpasses 1 billion from in-game spending. Blizzard's MOBA shooter became the 64th game on either console, PC, or mobile to generate over $1 billion, which is a ridiculous amount of money, ladies and gentlemen, from in-game content alone. Overwatch is also Activision Blizzard's 6th IP to hit this mark after World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Destiny, Candy Crush, and Hearthstone. Okay, so this means $1 billion has been spent on in-game stuff. This is loot boxes, and I would imagine Overwatch League tokens as well. But I would presume the majority of this comes directly from loot box sales. Now, when was the last time you guys bought a loot box? I mean, I seriously answer that in the comments below. I have not bought a loot box for, wow, probably over a year and a half. You know, I'd probably be surprised if it wasn't actually 2 years since I bought a loot box, just because I play enough of the game to get the loot I wanted, I suppose, and I've got enough currency to buy the skins that I want when events come around. Yeah, I don't have enough to buy everything, but I've never really been that kind of person anyway that needed absolutely everything. I just kind of like, hey, I like that, so I'm going to get it. You know, there's skins which I don't really care about, and all that stuff. So to me, it's like, whatever. The thing here, though, is Overwatch is like essentially 4 years old, if you think about it, guys. So what we're looking at here is $250 million every year on loot boxes. Now, I know that's an insane amount of money. It is actually an incredibly ridiculous amount of money. But the thing is that really a shock? I don't think it is. I think they could have actually made more money if they had a different system. You know, if maybe they sold skins weekly and you could buy the skin directly. Maybe we're going to see that in future updates to Overwatch. I don't know. But it's still really strong. And of course, these figures don't include additional accounts. That's where I've spent the most of my money on Overwatch. I have a lot of accounts. Obviously, these accounts probably won't get used that much now because of role queue, which kind of removes the need to have multiple accounts to play different heroes because we've got different SR for different roles. Guys, I've been Stylosa, and this is Unit Lost. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, remember to leave feedback in the comments below. And also, oh God, I almost stopped my tea over. That was really close, actually. And also, you know, if you want to get updated when all the videos go live, subscribe, but you have to click the bell as well, and that will alert you. All right, guys, I'll catch you lovely lot on the next one. Toodaloo.